Do you want to know more about Amazon's Inventory Performance Index scoring and how it can impact your Amazon sales and profitability? If so, in this video, I'll share with you what it is and how to improve it so you can maximize your sales on Amazon. Inventory Performance Index, or IPI for short, is a score that Amazon is going to use to measure your efficiency and productivity with managing your FBA inventory. Now, there are several factors that Amazon is looking at when giving you the score, and I'll dig into that in just a minute. But first, I want to give you a big picture view so you can know where in your seller account to see your current score. So when you log into your Seller Central account, you're going to just obviously be on the main page. So from your main page, go ahead and click the menu button, then go to inventory, and under Fulfillment by Amazon or FBA, you're going to click this dashboard button here. And this is what's going to take you to just an overview of your Inventory Performance Index. So just scroll down very slightly and you can see it right here. We've got Inventory Performance Index. Now, one of the neat things about here is you can actually see right from here what your score is out of 1,000. You can see how many points, if anything, has changed in the last 7 days, if it's gone up, if it's gone down, and your just overall health. So what does the IPI score look at when you're given a weekly score, since this is happening every week? So really the most important factors that are playing into the IPI score are how well you can do the following 4 things. So the first one is, are you maintaining a balanced inventory level between sold and on-hand inventory and avoid excess and aged inventory? The second is, are you avoiding long-term storage fees? The third is fix listing problems. Do you have any stranded inventory that can negatively impact your IPI score? And lastly, we've got the keeping your best-selling products in stock at the right levels that Amazon wants to meet customer demands and really just keep the customers happy. Because if they go to one of your listings and they can't find your products, that obviously is not going to just reflect poorly on Amazon, but you as a seller as well. So there's also really goals for each metric to aim at. So, looking at the different ones, and let me go ahead and show you my screen again so you can visually see what I'm talking about. But there's different metrics, and I'm going to share with you what are kind of some good goals for each one of those. So for instance, stranded inventory one, you really want that, if at all possible, 0%. And then the in-stock rate, you actually want it as close to 100% as possible. And it's, there's going to be times when you may not, for whatever reason, be able to, but really you want this as close to 100%. And then your sell-through rate, you actually want it between 2 and 7. Ideally 2 and 3, because you really don't want to get on the excess side, because if you have more than 7, it's really then going to actually negatively impact you. Plus you're paying Amazon to store extra inventory there. And then for excess inventory, that kind of goal metric that you're looking at is once again that 0 as well. So those are kind of some things you want to look at. So your inventory health is really determined by the number of units that are present in your inventory. And if there's not enough to meet demand, you will run out of stock and you'll lose valuable sales, which that is a painful thing to have happen when you know it could be selling and you just don't have inventory. And if you have too much inventory, then that can lead to really just higher storage costs, because Amazon is having to hold that at their warehouse and you are paying by the cubic square foot to keep it there. So your IPI score can range from 1 to 1,000, with the higher being the better. This is both for sellers and even for Amazon as well. So good inventory management, it's really going to motivate you as a company to stock the right products in the right amounts when selling on Amazon, which Amazon wants you to make use out of their limited warehouse space. So they do have a limit to their space, and that's why this is important. So stranded inventory, this can impact your IPI score. So keep in mind that the key factors that can increase your score, so this is something that would help your score if it's not as high as you want, is reducing excess inventory that's sitting at Amazon's warehouses and improving your sell-through rate. So let's talk about factors that affect your IPI score. Although Amazon hasn't disclosed their formula for how they exactly calculate the IPI scores, we do know what factors are important to them. So the first one is excess inventory, as I've mentioned. Amazon's priority, they really want to maintain efficient inventory management. They want to move products quickly to customers. And when you as a company have too much inventory that's more than a 90-day supply, based on Amazon's forecasted demand, Amazon may say that those extra units are excess or overstock. So well-managed inventory with a really strong high sell-through rate and minimal stranded inventory, that can improve your IPI score, giving you benefits like you may get more storage capacity and lower storage fees because you don't have as much sitting at Amazon's warehouse. So if you want to learn more about inventory management, make sure to check out my video here on how to navigate your inventory management inside Seller Central. And I have details walking through how to find that and how to improve that. So another factor that I want to dig into is excess units. This is the number of units that will cost you more to do nothing and pay storage fees rather than creating a promotion or a sale to sell more inventory or removing inventory from Amazon's FBA warehouse. So if you click on the reduce inventory button, it will actually show you the SKUs with excess inventory and then the manage excess inventory page where you can take different actions to reduce that. Next, let's look at estimated storage cost. So to determine the monthly storage fees, Amazon does charge different rates for standard size items versus oversized items. And also this does change based on the time of year, with the most expensive being October through December for storage. So the monthly storage fees, these are based on volume in cubic feet that your products are occupying in their fulfillment center. So you are paying to keep it at their warehouse. You can calculate your total monthly storage cost for 1 month. So an easy way to do this is you would multiply the monthly storage fee by the total number in cubic feet of your inventory that's currently at Amazon's fulfillment centers. And something else that might help you is you can also look at it over a year or several year period. You would just take that amount for a month and multiply it by 12 months, keeping in mind, like I said, October through December, you are paying more for those months. So make sure to adjust your calculations accordingly for those months. Okay, let's talk about next the FBA sell-through rate. The sell-through rate is an important metric, and that really measures how quickly your inventory is being sold at Amazon's fulfillment centers. So it's calculated, they calculate it by dividing the number of units sold and shipped in the past 90 days, and they look at the average number of units on hand at Amazon's fulfillment centers during that same time. Let's walk through on how to access your sell-through rate on the inventory dashboard. So let me go through the steps. You can go to the menu tab again after you've logged into your Seller Central. Once again, go to that inventory tab here, but this time go ahead and click on this FBA inventory button specifically. Now, once you're here, this is where you're going to get that really helpful information related to the sell-through rate and your inventory performance. So some of the things that you can see from this is, any products that have a low sell-through rate. You can look, at your sales rank. So you see the sell-through, there's a whole column on your sell-through rate. You can also, like I said, see even different things about the product, like the, sales over the last 90 days, how much inventory you have at Amazon's FBA warehouse, your inventory storage duration, how long has it been sitting at Amazon's warehouse, and they even give you estimated long-term storage costs, which that's extremely helpful. So this column here, you can see estimated aged inventory surcharge, and then they'll tell you there that that's how many units you have, that's how much you're paying to keep it there. By analyzing this data, you can really then identify which products are not selling well and maybe contributing to that lower sale rate, because you can have some products that are doing great and others are dragging it down. So this is really helpful when you look at that page there. That can really then help you to make informed decisions as a business about your pricing, about your inventory management, and just really overall strategies for your performance on Amazon. And then really you're going to look at really improving those numbers and the performance. So do keep in mind that Amazon's interface features may change over time, so make sure to always check Seller Central for like the latest tools and options for monitoring and improving your sell-through rate and your inventory performance. That will help you as well when you're thinking through what to do. Okay, next let's talk about stranded inventory. So stranded inventory, that is when Amazon refers to the number of units that are in Amazon's fulfillment centers, but they cannot be purchased by customers due to there's a listing problem or there's some kind of error with your listing. So when inventory becomes stranded, that can then lead to higher storage fees and also obviously missed sales opportunities, because at that point customers cannot buy that product. So Amazon does provide sellers with a detailed overview of their stranded inventory, including how many units are stranded and what's the reason. This is very helpful. So you can actually access this through your inventory performance dashboard in Seller Central. So let me show you really quickly on how to resolve stranded inventory issues. You can just follow these steps. So when you're going into your inventory performance dashboard, and then you want to look for anything that says like a warning of fixed listings. And sometimes this even shows up on your home screen when you first log in as well, depending on like the widgets that you have within your Seller Central when you log in. But then it'll show you if there's anything that's stranded and how to fix this. You know, obviously you can see there's no stranded inventory that I have when I'm looking at this page here. But if you did, you would then look for that warning button, and then you would click on that fixed listing. And when you click on the fixed listing button, then you would navigate to fixed stranded inventory page. So it'll just continue to prompt you on where to go to fix your inventory. So on that fixed stranded inventory page, you can then review the units that are stranded and also identify the specific cause of that issue. So the stranded units also do have an auto removal date. That means that Amazon can automatically remove them from their fulfillment center on that date if it's not resolved. And depending on the settings that you've set up for your seller account, that means Amazon may actually dispose of them, or they may send them back to an address that you have on file in Seller Central. So it is really important that you pay attention to stranded inventory, because that can lead to inventory being disposed of or sent back to you when that might not be what you want to have happen. Usually you can just fix that stranded inventory. And like I said, Amazon usually provides options for you on how to relist the stranded inventory, which then involves really the fixing the listing problems so that the customer can purchase the items again. So this is great. And like I said, Amazon will prompt you through it. And by addressing those stranded inventory issues and resolving those issues within the listing really quickly, you will then reduce your storage fees and you'll open up more opportunities for sales, obviously, on Amazon. I would love to hear from you in the comments below on what stranded inventory reason that has been the hardest for you to resolve. I can create a video if you're interested in explaining more about fixing stranded inventory, going more into depth about that. If that has been a problem for your account, just feel free to drop in the comments below anything that you'd like to see, or if you've had any issues with stranded inventory that maybe you were able to resolve, but maybe you weren't. Okay, let's now talk about in-stock inventory. Amazon does keep track of how well you as a company are stocking, especially your popular ASINs. Now remember, an ASIN is the Amazon Standard Identification Number. That is unique to Amazon, kind of like a UPC, but it's Amazon's way of identifying a product. So ASINs, once again, that specific metric for monitoring this aspect of seller performance may not negatively impact your IPI score directly, but it's still really essential for a healthy and competitive presence on the platform. If you run out of stock, you then are obviously allowing other people, other competitors, to then take that sale that would have gone to you, especially if someone needs it and they need it now. So Amazon actually does estimate the number of potential FBA sales that sellers may have missed out because they were out of stock. That estimation is based on a 30-day forecast for sales for each individual product. So being out of stock can result in lost sales opportunities, and it can really also have a negative impact on the customer experience with your brand. Now, keeping popular ASINs well stocked can ensure that you'll really capitalize on potential sales, and you'll maintain a positive reputation as a reliable company that keeps inventory in stock on Amazon. You can mark items as non-replenishable if a product is maybe a limited edition, maybe it's a seasonal product, or maybe you've ceased production of that product. You do have the option to mark it as non-replenishable in your restock inventory section, and that can be a practical step for you to protect your IPI score from being negatively impacted by not stocking items that are not intended for regular replenishment. So that's a helpful tip, I think, for you. Let's talk now about how can Amazon sellers, when your company is selling on Amazon, how can you improve your IPI score? So the first thing, and a lot of these things, are similar to what I've said, but you need to really improve that sell-through rate. But let me give you an idea of what you can do. So a good goal would be to have 90 days or better of a sell-through rate that really puts you in that green zone for that Amazon's IPI chart, indicating that your rate falls in that good to excellent rating. That's really what you want to have. Now you can improve that sell-through rate by either running Amazon ads, you can create promotions, you can run external marketing to your Amazon listings, you can optimize your existing product listings, you can even remove inventory if you've overestimated sales and you just think that that's the best course of action. So there's a lot of different things you can be doing to improve that sell-through rate. Another thing you want to do to improve your IPI score is reducing your excess inventory. So once again, you're going to go to your Manage Inventory page. Once you're logged in, you're going to go to that Inventory tab. You're going to click Manage Inventory to really look at your inventory that's available. From there, you can look at what's a low selling item. On the Manage Inventory page, you'll see really all of your active listings. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. So I'm going to go to, once again, inside your seller account, and I'm going to go to the Manage Inventory page, and I'm going to just really look at all inventory. And from here, you can, like I said, really look at low selling items. A lot of times, you can tell by the sales rank. You can also be looking at what's available as well. Look in that column. Do you see a large number of inventory there? That is something to pay attention to. Usually you're going to look with ones that do not have like a yellow or a red or those kind of alerts next to available. Those are ones that might have too much. These really may contribute to that excess inventory that you have. You also want to look at your performance. So really looking at the performance of each low selling item that you sell on Amazon. Look at the sell-through rate, look at the sales velocity, what's the customer demand, and what's your profitability on that product. If that product is consistently underperforming and taking up your valuable storage space, it may be time to take action. And what that may look like is going to be different for every brand, but you can do the actions that I've mentioned before, and this may be one you may want to end up not focusing in on Amazon, but maybe leaving it on another platform like your own website, but really focusing in on those that are performing the best with your Amazon catalog. You will also want to avoid long-term storage fees. This is something that really can help your profitability. If you're not paying attention to this, this can be costing you a lot of money, and you may not even be aware of it because Amazon will just discreetly kind of pull that from your payments. And unless you have someone really digging into the numbers, you may not even realize how much money every month and every year that you are spending towards long-term storage fees. So really removing excess inventory, especially within, a year, 365 days, that's really helpful to avoid that long-term storage fee from kicking in. So those are actually additional fees that are charged for items that have been stored in fulfillment centers for over a year. So this is why you don't want to also send in way too much inventory, because of course you don't want to sell out, but if you have too much and then it moves to being there for longer than a year, then you do start running into additional fees. And this is on top of their other fees. So there's two really main options for handling your excess inventory to avoid that long-term storage fee. So one of the options is to create a removal order. As a company, you can really create that removal order. You can have Amazon ship that excess inventory back to you. Make sure to look into Seller Central to see what those fees are, but they're usually very reasonable, very minimal. And then once you receive that inventory, you can look at maybe other options of selling it through other channels, liquidating it, alternative storage solutions if you have the capacity at a warehouse elsewhere. That is one option. Another thing that you can do is you can allow Amazon to actually remove your inventory. So if you just don't want to handle the logistics of doing the removal yourself, you can actually enable a feature that says to automatically remove unsellable inventory in your Seller Central account. So by doing that, Amazon will then automatically remove your inventory that's been at their fulfillment center for more than 365 days. Do know though that Amazon might have removal fees associated with that option. So usually the options would be disposal or having it sent to you at an address. It's cheaper to have it just disposed of per item than it is to have Amazon to ship it back to your address of choice. But those are things that Amazon can actually do without you even having to remember, if that's something that would help you. You really want to make sure that you're quick and taking timely action to remove that excess inventory to help you avoid long-term storage fees. And also that's going to free up more space for you at Amazon's fulfillment centers, and you can then fill it with products that are more likely to sell faster. And it's really essential that you monitor your inventory regularly and make informed decisions to really optimize your inventory management on Amazon. By doing that, you'll really help minimize costs, you'll then improve that IPI score, and you'll maintain a healthier and more profitable business because you're leveraging Amazon's sales platform without all those extra costs. So let's also talk about addressing listing issues. So if you do have stranded inventory or any other issues that are really kind of preventing sales, make sure to fix it, as I mentioned earlier, on steps to take to fix that stranded inventory. So doing this will help you to have a strong IPI score, increase your profitability on Amazon, and allow you to sell more and focus on growing sales on Amazon. If you want to learn more about getting your listings to work for you and get more sales, make sure to watch this video here.